right, so I am back. Today is day number 6 of my challenge. Entrepreneur pitfall number 6 is stop throwing grenades at your own plans. So I thought about that today. I was talking with a friend and she kind of inspired today's pitfall, and I decided I wanted to talk about just when you have a plan, you being your own worst enemy and you being the person that does more harm to your plan or your strategy than anybody else possibly can. So one of the things I wanted to do is just say, have you ever been in a situation where you had a plan and you came up with 50 million reasons why your plan wouldn't work, but you couldn't even come up with 10 reasons why it would work? Or have you ever had a plan and you thought through it and then you talked with somebody about it and then you just never revisited that plan again, but it might have been a really good idea, it could have been a money-making idea, but you just didn't move forward with it. You stopped before you even gained any ground or before you gained any traction. So I was just contemplating like some of the reasons why people do that. I think it's important for you to identify why you stop yourself from moving forward with a plan or moving forward with something that may be beneficial or that may be a money-making idea. It may be super creative. It may be innovative. You may change the market. You may actually help save some people or educate some people or inspire some people. So if you have the ability to do all of those things potentially with your idea, why would you consistently throw grenades at it and sabotage your own plans? So I identified 3 reasons why that are at the top of my list. And honestly, these are 3 reasons that have stopped me in the past. So I always try to be transparent and tell you guys things that I can relate to, and hopefully you can relate to them as well. So the first reason would be lack of skill. Maybe you thought of the idea, but you don't necessarily have the skill set that you believe that you need to have in place in order to affect or to grow the idea. And then the next item would be maybe there's a lack of will. Maybe you're an idea person and you constantly come up with ideas, but you have no intention on building them out. You're just constantly coming up with ideas. And then the next thing is probably going to be fear. And that's just, you're just afraid of, or you're uncertain, you don't really know what it is, you don't know the next step in the process or what to do, and you're afraid of what the consequences or the outcomes could be. So those are the 3 things that I identify. So the 3 reasons why I believe that we throw grenades at our own plans and blow them up before they even get started is because we think we lack the skill, or some of us literally lack the actual will. We just talk a lot, but we're not going to really do anything about it, or we are just fearful because we just don't know. It's fear of the unknown. So how can you overcome those things? So the things that I came up with are with relation to the things that we identified. So if skill is your issue, don't give up on your idea just because you feel like you don't have good enough skill. The truth of the matter is some of the best ideas, people don't necessarily know how to get it done, and you don't have to have that skill. What you have to do is be smart enough to, 1, do research. Number 2, build a team. Be smart enough to be able to go out and find people who can help you with affecting or with implementing your idea. And then the other thing is, if you really, really are serious about it, go out and invest in the education to get the skill. So that means that's a couple things you can do. You can either start right now by finding a team that can help you get where you need to get. You can research and get started and then build the team, or you can go out and get the education or the certifications or whatever it is that you need by either doing an internship, doing an apprenticeship, or taking some classes. So that would knock out the reason for skill. The next thing is going to be lack of will. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you are lazy. I'm not really sure if there is a cure for that, but what I can tell you is I've run into a lot of people in my life who are always coming up with really good ideas. Like every time you talk to them, they have an idea to do this, or they have an idea to do that. And the truth of the matter is 10 years later, they have done not one of them. And those are people that really are just full of hot air. They're going to always constantly be talking about what they want to do, but they are not going to put any effort towards it. And if that's the case, if you know that you're the type of person that has a lack of will, then that makes, I understand why you would be throwing grenades at your own plans. But what you might want to do is, if you're an idea person, that actually can be sold. So if you know you don't want to do anything with your ideas, why not turn the ideas themselves into a business, and sell those ideas to people who might actually be able to implement them? That's just an idea. Then the last thing is going to be fear. So, and I know, because fear was my biggest one. So I never had a lack of skill, and I definitely never had a lack of will. I went on a job interview the other day, and the guy asked me if I had to give 3 words that accurately described myself, what would that be? And my 3 words were intelligent, determined, and compassionate. So lack of skill and lack of will has never been my issue, but fear has been a humongous part of what took me so long to start my own business. I was worried about what my family would think. I was worried about what my finances would be like. I was worried about the things that I was going to lose. I was worried about not being able to maintain the lifestyle that I had become accustomed to. But it is a true statement that entrepreneurs are willing to live their life a certain way for a short period of time, or for a period of time, to get to a point to be successful. And that's what I chose to do. But before I started out on this journey, what I did was I said, Tiffany, what is the worst case scenario? So if I had to worry about what my biggest fear was, what was it? And my biggest fear was being homeless, not having a home to go to. And I had to build a plan for that, because it could happen. Most entrepreneurs are one invoice away, especially if you're a newer entrepreneur. You are one invoice away from potentially either being Hollywood or being homeless. And so with that being said, you have to think, what's your greatest fear, and then address that. Figure out what you would do. So if your fears of being homeless, if you did lose your home, where would you go? Who would you stay with? How would you regroup? What would you do? What expenses would you cut back on? What could you live without for a year or two? You could do without cable, or you could do without eating out. Everybody knows me. My friend Moana and I went out every weekend to enjoy a delectable steak at some new steakhouse on a regular basis. But being an entrepreneur, I had to give that up. That was one of the things that I have to be on a budget. So I said all of that to say that fear is probably one of the biggest reasons that people throw grenades at their own plans, and you've got to learn how to get over that fear. The easiest way to get over the fear is, 1, identify it, and then 2, if it came to pass, that fear, make a plan for what you would do, so that now it's not a factor anymore, because you have a plan for it. And then after you do that, the only thing I can tell you is to just take the leap. So that is Entrepreneur Pitfall number 6. And thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe to my station. I'm still working on getting my subscriptions up. And if you have a chance, go and like our company on social media, Velvet Rope Experience, or Tiffany Taylor Hicks. You can look me up under either of those. We're on Instagram. We are also on Twitter. I believe I have a Pinterest page. But most importantly, I'd like for you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed what you heard today, then send me a comment and let me know. And if you didn't like it, send me a comment and let me know. Until next time, bye.